So proudly we hail, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the path.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Gary. Welcome to the Freedom Network. We are live tonight, right here, obviously taking your emails, your phone calls. You can see we've got a new email. It's constitutionforfreedom@gmail.com. Don't use the old one because I was going to just delete it the other day. It's interesting. And I came across two emails that I'm really happy that I got. So please, I tell you all, use the new email, constitutionforfreedom@gmail. I got I'm going to start right off the bat. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you full disclosure. I'm in a mood today. I'm in a real mood today. We're going to get into all kinds of different topics. Yours are certainly welcome, but I really got fired up about politics and some other issues as well today. So be forewarned. Let's do freedom's battle, if you will. Anyway, I got an email from Michael, who is a student over in Northbridge High School. A good student, mind that, and also a viewer of the program. I do appreciate your constant contact and updates. You've called into the show. It's fantastic. He wanted me to help spread the word about something. I'll let you know this is on the station as well. It's up on the bulletin board, and something that you should get involved if you're local to where we broadcast out of. It's the Northbridge PTA presents Touch a Truck. It's Friday, April 27th. It's from 6 to 8 p.m., so it's good timing for people to be able to get over there, and it's right in the Northbridge High School parking lot. This is a free program, courtesy of many businesses that have lent their trucks and time for the day, and kudos to them to get involved and help the kids out. And it's for the kids, let's face it, it's for the kids, you know what I mean? Explore trash truck, they put here a roller, maybe even a dump truck, and many more, they say. So Northbridge High School class of 2021 is going to have concessions that you'll be able to buy and games that you'll be able to play, along with face painting and all other kinds of stuff. This is really a worthy event. Bring your friends, bring your family, help the kids raise some money. You'll buy some drinks, I'm sure, and some snacks from them. Otherwise, I guess it's free to go. And if you have any questions on this, I want to give you an email. It's MJ Welks. I'm going to spell it right out for you. I should have given this to you, but unfortunately, I ran into the studio today with about, I don't know how many minutes to spare. Actually, when I was running in right now, they said, the open's running, and I said, I got it. That's what happens. Anyway, MJWILKES. I don't know if you guys could write that down or somehow we could get that out there, but I know it's out there. It's MJWILKES at student.nps.org. Tell you what, send me an email at constitutionforfreedom@gmail.com, and I will, in turn, if you have questions, send you a link back to Mike's email that he's got there. You know, it's a good cause. It's what we always talk about. It's being involved locally, and that's really what you should do. So no problem, Mike. Anytime you guys have anything that's going on at the school, we're more than happy to not only give it a shout out, but the station is more than happy. It seems as always receptive to the local stuff to get your message out. This should be really cool, and the pictures of these things look really cool, and I think that your kids would have a great time, so make sure that you get at it. Go on and get at it. Why not? I don't even have my cup. That's how late I was tonight. I don't even have my Freedom Network cup because I came running in. That's what happens, I guess, when life gets involved, right? All right, let's see. I mean, we got groups on Facebook. Send me an email. I'll send you the links. It makes a whole lot more sense that way. I did want to touch on Mark Zuckerberg. Let me get this up here. It's interesting how it goes. Well, now I got an ad. I got an ad now. I didn't up, I mean, I open up these tabs and they, it's just amazing, isn't it? Anyway, it's really funny. You know, Mark Zuckerberg's on TV today, right? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Look what we got coming in. Look what we got coming in. Here we go. Thank you so very much. Now the show is complete. We've got the Freedom Network mug, which everyone thinks is full of water, but hey, you know what I mean. He's back. All right. All right, so anyway, Mark Z, he's out there, right? Let's put it this way, folks. Facebook was intended for one thing, to get a whole bunch of what we call asses in the seats, right? And then take that and sell it through ads. That's what advertising is. So when you have a TV station or a radio station, or right, traditionally, or a newspaper, the higher your distribution is, the more people you can put in one place at one time, the more you can charge for ads and things of that nature. Facebook is that. That's what Facebook is. That's what it is. It's about putting a whole bunch of people together and then getting advertisers together and making money off it. Why do you think it's free to you? Do you think it's free to run Facebook? Do you think that, I mean, this is a guy that's made billions of dollars from what? What do you think he's made billions of dollars from? So, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the guy myself personally, or his politics and that kind of stuff, but that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what's really interesting about this is the fact that I pulled this from the USA Today. The congressional panel that got the most Facebook contributions is the House Energy and Commerce Committee, which announced Wednesday morning it would question Zuckerberg. Think about that. They announced it a week ago. These are the very people that he is helping to put into office that now seem to be turning on him, right? Great. I'm psyched about that. I mean, I'm really, really psyched about that. That's just fantastic. The irony is just simply phenomenal. The irony is you can't make that stuff up. You just can't make that stuff up. Listen, I want to talk for a minute about Stoughton, Massachusetts, my old hometown. So recently they found yet another swastika that was posted up. I think this one was in the bathroom. The other one might have been in I don't know if it was a classroom or the lunchroom or something like that. And other things have happened. Now, Stoughton's a storied town. We started the Freedom Network, actually, in Stoughton, Massachusetts. Stoughton's got all kinds of historical issues. When the FBI's got to be called in, I guess your town's got some issues. But that's all in the past now. I think that there's some good people involved in the town government, or some well-meaning people. They just had an election. It doesn't really matter to me who they elect, but there was a lot of passion around it. They had a recall just before. It was a whole mess. Anyway, I got into it on Facebook with some people. Some of them I know are kids from the school. Others maybe aren't. First of all, I fully support free speech. But let's just talk about where free speech applies. Does free speech just apply? No, it doesn't apply. You go on Facebook, right? So you want to go on Facebook and you want to say whatever you want. You think you have some right to say it, right? No, you don't. It's a private entity's platform. You have the right to free speech, basically in public. You don't have a right to free speech in a school, let's say, or even in your own workplace. I have a right to free speech here. You, unfortunately, don't have a right, though, to call in and say whatever you want. I could cut you right off. I'm not violating your rights. Would I do that? No. But with that said, a kid that goes and posts something or draws graffiti in the way of a swastika, to me, is a scumbag. That's what the kid is. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. I was challenged on the basis that the kid was just acting out and wanted to get a rise out of people, I was told. Well, I said, well, you got a rise out of me. You certainly got a rise out of me. Especially if you're going to put things up like that, or if you were going to put the N-word up and you were going to write that, wouldn't that be unacceptable? Wouldn't people vilify that person that did that, and shouldn't they? I think that they certainly should. How about a gang symbol? Why would we put up with any of that kind of, that kind of stuff? You're going to get people upset, and then they're going to respond to you. That's what's going to happen. They're going to respond to you. And, I almost think that this kid was like advocating for a safe space, or whatever they call it. What are they? A safe space, safe place? Is that what they call it? Safe place? Yeah. Safe space? All right, safe space. So they call it a safe space. And I think that's what he was kind of getting around to for this scumbag that put up some Nazi crap, right? I mean, really, am I supposed to care about his or her feelings when they clearly don't care about other people's feelings when they post and draw things like that? This is what I said. All right, this is what I said. And I hope that there's some Stoughton people out there listening. I really and truly do. But I said, put your big person. I said boy, I think. I assume maybe it was a boy. I shouldn't assume it was a boy. A woman could be a girl could be a racist just as well. But put your big boy or big girl underwear on. All right? Because here I am. I'm right here. So say it to my face. Don't be a coward and go, oh, there's no one in the bathroom. I'm going to write this on here. And then everybody's going to see it. And whoa, look at the controversy that I can throw out there. There's people right out here that'll challenge you, man. We'll challenge you. Bring it. Do we have somebody? We got somebody. I hope that I would love it if this was the actual scumbag that put it on there. And I will call you a scumbag because that's what you are. When you put something up that advocates and symbolizes the torture and murder of millions of people, I'm going to call you a scumbag. That's what I'm going to do. All right, let me do this. I think it's this that I do, and then it's this that I do. All right, do I have you on the Freedom Network now? You are on.
Yep, you got me.
I got you. All right, man, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? I believe I was the one that we got into a bit of a discussion on Facebook with.
Oh, awesome, man. And you called it. Before we do anything, before we fight, if we argue, whatever it is, I want to say one thing. I very much so respect the fact that you're on the telephone right now. And that won't change no matter how the conversation goes. I really and truly do respect the fact that you called in, and I'm going to give you time because I got the whole hour here, but I'm going to give you time to say what you want to say. Go ahead, man.
Oh, thank you. Well, from my point of view, I don't think that this is as much anti-Semitism as it is just a kid being an imbecile. Going into the bathroom, drawing something on the wall, trying to draw something offensive to offend people.
Okay, so
yeah.
if that's the case, the desired result would be to offend people, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, do you think that this kid, and I don't know if you go to school with the kid or if you know who the kid was, and you know what, I'm not asking you to say anything.
I don't really.
But if that's the desired result, then when people get, quite frankly, pissed off that somebody did that, why is it a problem? Didn't he achieve the desired result by someone like me seeing it and then spouting off and saying basically screw you, right? I mean that's what it is. Isn't that his result? Why would that be a problem for somebody to get aggravated about it?
Well, there's a good question. Hold on, give me a second.
Sure.
So generally, I don't think that bathroom graffiti should be taken that seriously.
All right, so why bathroom graffiti? What if you put it out on the outside of the school? Does that make it worse?
Because, well, a bathroom isn't really, in public. It's more a private space.
Okay.
I figure it's kind of typical for kids to go into the bathroom with a little marker and write something.
Sure, they do all the time. It's not even so much kids. I'll tell you right now, you go into a lot of adult places and you'll find the exact same thing. It's a platform that they chose. Why do you think a person would do that? You say to get a rise out of other people, right?
Oh yeah, plus it's unmonitored, so they can't really face any repercussions.
Absolutely. Right, it's one place that's not monitored. To me, it's cowardly, right? If you want to say something like that, why don't you just say it? Why do you think that if what you're saying is correct, that the person just wants to get a rise out of people and the person may not be anti-Semitic, and that's not just anti-Semitism that symbol represents. Don't forget, that's a whole host of bigotry that symbol represents in the modern era. Why do you think that they would do that and not know what it meant? Like, do you really think that the person that did this doesn't know what that means?
I think they know what it meant, and they chose it because they knew that would offend people. I'm sorry.
So basically, your argument is that they did it because they know that it would get a rise out of people, but at the same time, they may not truly believe what that stands for. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a fair enough assumption that you may want to make. Like we talked about on Facebook, though, I don't think that you can assume that that's what people will think. And I was just talking about, safe places and all this and that. If somebody's going to post something like that, I mean, I would say, don't you think that people like myself and maybe, whoever else may be watching that may be of a sane mind, including yourself, might take exception to that and then want to reply to it. And why is the reply to it, when it's harsh, and mine was harsh, why is the reply to it looked at as something that needs to be questioned as opposed to the act itself?
Well, I think in a way both are a bit questionable, but I wouldn't say questionable for like the response. Like a response is warranted, but it's kind of what he wants when he does this. When a person goes and does something offensive on a wall to invoke a response, when you give it to him, it sort of encourages it, doesn't it not?
I don't know if it encourages it. It definitely, I guess, vindicates it, right? If he wanted to get a rise out of people, he certainly did get a rise out of people. So mission accomplished, right? I mean, definitely mission accomplished. But I think that, when you read or listen to, let's say, lectures from Eli Wiesel and other people that have survived concentration camps and things of that nature, and they talk about things like never again. And when they talk about that, what they mean is at every corner, that if you let it slip a little bit here, you'll let it then slip more here, and it will continue like this to slip and become something that is quasi-accepted as, oh, he was just trying to get a rise out of people. And trying to get a rise out of people, okay, is painting a phallic symbol, all right, and maybe a girl's head right near it, right? All right, that's going to get a rise out of people. That's going to aggravate a lot of people, as it should, because it's demeaning to women. At the same time, it doesn't mean, and what that symbol means is, go kill black people, go kill Jewish people, right? Go kill anybody that isn't right. Anybody that's got a mental illness or a physical deformity should be burned in an oven. That's what that symbol means. So when you post that symbol or you put that symbol out there, people are going to get pissed off. And I think when they get pissed off, there is a point where we do need to allow people to get pissed off and not challenge their pissed offness, but either maybe back away and let that take its fizzle out, or if you're going to say anything, it kind of deserves what he gets, doesn't he? But I do want to give you time. I don't know if anyone else is trying to get in, but I do want to give you time. So go ahead and speak what you want.
Well, as far as I'm assuming this kid is an anti-Semite. I've been going to that school for like 4 years, and I've never met anyone that's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that
Really?
doesn't
You've
mean
never
no
met
one is.
an anti-Semite? I mean, I have. I did in Stoughton schools, actually. I did. And I graduated in 1990 out of Stoughton High School, which, to be honest with you, is a great school. It's a great school, man. It's a fantastic school. You have some of the greatest teachers there that were there actually when I was there, and some are still even there now.
I'm not too much of a fan of the administration anyways.
Well, I don't know much of the administration anymore. I think that's all changed around. I'm more of a teacher angle than I am an administration angle, because I think the administrations, not just in your town, man, but in this town too, they do in some cases do things that can drive people crazy. What are you gonna do? I mean, they change over time. What I remember though of Stoughton schools and the camaraderie and the friends that I made, I still have friends that I made at Stoughton High School, but it's a great town. It's just been a town that's been a mess for a long, long time. And I think the responses to this really need to... Did a teacher actually get in trouble from that last one that
I don't
happened?
think so. I didn't hear much about it. I know a teacher was fired because she was like talked about it and tried to turn it into a teachable lesson.
Uh-huh. Well, should it... Well, that's a great point. Should it be a teachable lesson? I mean, shouldn't shouldn't you guys be talking about this in school? Maybe why some crazy guy from up here in Northbridge that used to live in Stoughton's losing his mind over why this was posted? Shouldn't maybe there be some kind of discussion in school and say, you know what, this is why this person was so upset, and this is what this really means. And it's probably not a good idea to do that. It would be, like I said, it would be, why not write on that? They may as well have written on that wall there, or that mirror, all black people should be slaves. To me, that's offensive. To me, a swastika is offensive. I'm going to reply to it. But again, I'm all jazzed up that you decided to call in. That is the power of social media, and definitely a testament to you that you did call up, and you did. You definitely did. I applaud you for that, man. You have any last words you want to toss out there?
Well, generally, I think if the kid came out and said, I hate Jews, I hate blacks, I think we should exterminate anyone who isn't white, that's a problem. I think bathroom graffiti shouldn't be taken as serious social commentary.
But if that
Erase it and move on, right? But yeah, I agree that it should be turned into a teachable lesson as to why we, probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and the only thing I'd say is that by posting that is what you're saying. It's almost like today. You get on your phone, right, and you want to tell someone I'm sad about something. You put up a frown, right? And they might give you a whole paragraph of stuff, and you put up a frown. And what your frown means is that you're unhappy about the fact that they're unhappy, that you think the situation is very sad, and you're feeling empathy toward them. So you've posted this image. It's the same thing, man. It's the same thing, It's I guess the interpretation. Maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know. I just hope you guys don't lose touch with the reality of what that symbol really stands for, because it's got nothing to do with freedom. It's got nothing to do with goodness. It's got nothing to do with anybody being empowered. It's got to do with subjugation and just awfulness. But again, man, I'm stoked up that you called. It renews a lot of faith that I have in the younger generations. Thanks for doing so, all right?
Hey, no problem. I'm all about civil discussion.
All right, man. Anytime, man. Anytime. You're always welcome. Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
All right, you too. What a great thing that is. Isn't that great? You're out there, you're on Facebook, you're arguing with, I don't know how many times I have said to people, I'm doing a show, because, I get all, kind of into that political mode, and I get crazy. and I always say to people, look, I'm on the air. You can call me. You can yell at me and tell me I'm crazy. I'm good about it. You know what I mean? I yell and scream. Let other people do the same. And it's really kind of interesting that this young fella was the guy, man. He was the guy that came through, that came on. And I'm going to give you big props for that, whether we agree or whether we disagree. Anyway, I guess my feeling on the whole thing is I hate, and I'll use the word hate, people who hate. I am a bigot against people that are bigoted, right? I truly, really am. There's no safe spaces for that here on the Freedom Network. I'm not giving anyone a pass on that. That kid, or whoever it was that put the Nazi symbol up, in my opinion, is a scumbag. That's what the person is. It doesn't matter if they're 16 or if they're 19. It don't matter. You're still a scumbag. So that's just my opinion. Now, it doesn't mean that the person can never be a good person again. They absolutely can be. They can realize what they've done and get, back on track and apologize and move forward. I'm all about it. All right, we're going back to the phones. I do that. We do this. And let me see if I got another caller on the line here on the Freedom Network. Good evening. Who do we got?
Hello, Gary.
Yeah.
Hey, excellent show tonight.
Thank you, sir.
And I'd like to start off thanking all our military across the world that are on duty tonight, and our prayers and thoughts not only with them but our country as a whole within this next 72 hours of volatile time, and hopefully calmer minds will prevail. But I just wanted to get that thought out first.
All right, fair enough.
And your talk about the Nazi swastikas and Iron Cross jilted me back to the early 1960s, and my father was a World War II veteran, saw a lot of significant action in Italy, and also in our neighborhood growing up, there was a lot of other World War II veterans, and there was also one that was with the U.S. troops as they freed or went in and freed Auschwitz and the concentration camp. And what happened was, during the middle 60s, there was a lot of these selling these Iron Cross and swastika necklaces,
Mm-hmm.
and it was going around the neighborhood, and it really just brought so much attention to a lot of these World War II veterans of what they saw and what they went through during World War II, the greatest generation. And it got so volatile that we actually had a big neighborhood meeting, and it was really interesting as me as a young lad watching these World War veterans,
You were young?
World War II veterans
I'm
relate
just kidding.
what these symbols represented,
Mm.
and it was a lot. These children or youth at the time really didn't understand what these symbols meant,
No, they don't. They still don't, Barry. They still don't.
and some of the parents were just kind of they just didn't realize what the significance of all this and how much it impacted the greatest generation's life or anybody's life that was impacted by those horrible things that the Nazis and the fascist government at that time did during those World War II years. And after that little neighborhood meeting, needless to say, those necklaces and symbols went away. But I just wanted to relate that story because
I think it's great that you did. I'm happy you called in.
yeah, your little talk brought that back, and I just wanted to say one thing about locally.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was at the FinCom meeting the other day,
Yeah.
and I usually don't always agree with the FinCom chair, but he mentioned about maybe a 35-year or a 40-year note on the new school, and that would bring the price down to about $350 to $400 a year instead of the $700 to $800 a year now that they're talking about.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit more palatable, and then if the town gets extra money, maybe they can pay it on the principal. But I just wanted to get that out there because the bill is coming due for NES and the Bomber School, so hopefully something gets done, and hopefully we all work together. And I just want to thank you, Gary, for everything you do, and I really it brought back some memories, and I hope people understand the meaning of these symbols. And I just want to thank you and NCTV, everything what you do, and stay safe and stay well, and thank you very much, Gary.
You too, bud. I appreciate you being there. Thank you. Well, there you have it. There you have it. I don't know. Now we got what? Roseanne Barr is back in the news about making jokes about Hitler and things of that notion. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that she just came out and hit big with the Trump supporters, but if you're going to stand in front of an oven and pull stuff out with a swastika on your sleeve and a Hitler mustache right here, I'm a little turned off by you. I'm sorry. I really don't give a crap what your politics are. But then don't kid yourselves, folks. If you really think that she is a pro-Trump person, right? What she is an intelligent person that's making a ton of money and laughing all the way to the bank. Do you want me to Google Roseanne Barr, Donald Trump, and you can view and see maybe some of the quotes that she's made about Donald Trump? Don't tell me to give her a break. You give me a break. People that get into this crap about making jokes about things that, there are certain things that are, well, that used to be off limits when it came to joking about. And again, I remember firmly supporting the right of a neo-Nazi group to march in a town. And I took a lot of crap for that. You know what? They do have the right to speak. They have the right to speak. The thing that they forget is so do I, and so do you. So it's not about who has the right to say something. It's about when you see something that's disgusting, You call it out, and you don't make excuses. And that's my whole issue, is you don't make excuses and say, well, maybe they were just like the caller before said, they're just trying to get a rise out of people. Maybe that's all Roseanne was doing. But, I mean, for the love of God, people, come on. You're talking about joking about millions of people being murdered. Do we joke about Stalin? I don't. I don't. I don't joke about Hitler. I don't joke about any of these folks because, to be quite honest with you, in my opinion, they're scumbags and people that, do we make ethnic jokes? Sure, I know. Listen, I know the best Jewish jokes you're going to find. None of them are going to include putting Jewish people in an oven, let's say like that, right? Because that's beyond comedy. That's poor taste. It's disgusting, is what it is. People just want to, I don't know, the irony of the whole thing just kills me with Roseanne. It just absolutely does. Because, last week she was the queen because, I mean, this was all over the news, especially conservative news, especially Trumpland news. And, I mean, this was the second coming. This woman was it. Look at this great show, and she's making all this money. I don't know. I don't remember, what's his name there that used to do the show that got canceled. He never had to go to these extents. He was very conservative, Trump supporter, all that kind of stuff. What was that show? It just got canceled. With Tim the Toolman Taylor, but it wasn't that show. It was, for crying out loud, my mind just went blank. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, Last Man Standing. Now, he was a conservative guy. He's definitely a pro-Trump show. He didn't put himself on TV with swastikas, right? He wouldn't do that. I don't know. We can beat this all night, but the reality is everybody's got to understand has their right to speak. We can debate the platforms because you don't have an absolute right to speak any way you want, but you do have a right to your opinions, and you can spout them out there. But don't get all pansy on me when I call you out on it. And I'm not talking about the caller. I'm actually talking about somebody else. I think those posts were deleted. But I did, before I close the segment out again, want to thank that first caller for calling in. You got you got the gumption to do it. You have your opinions. Stick by your opinions. We're going to disagree on them, but I'm just happy that you did. You restored a lot of faith, at least in it, and I think we had a reasonable enough conversation to go with. So, Stoughton, I'm done talking about you. Unless anybody wants to call in and talk about this from Stoughton, you are more than welcome. We're on the air for another 20, 25 minutes or so. Woo! Was that something, huh? I mean, I figured that would be 10 minutes. We'd get in and get out. It's just half the show. Towns are banning guns. You know that? They're banning guns. How can this even be? It's the United States of America. How can a state even make a gun law where the feds really have domain over that, right? I mean, we all should know that about our government and how it works. Can a state suspend another federally protected right? Do they suspend due process? How about free speech? Can a state take that away? Can the town that you live in decide that there won't be any more free speech? No. It's crazy to even think they could. Could Northbridge, where we broadcast out of, could they say we won't have due process anymore? We're just going to take you off to the gulag. That's it. Off you go. They can't make that kind of a rule. Why is it that we allow states and towns to make laws and rules about the Second Amendment? They have no place in it. None whatsoever. Zero, zip, zilch, nothing. You've got nothing to say. If you're a selectman in a town, for example, constitutionally speaking, you have no business in the Second Amendment. It's not your place to have an opinion on the Second Amendment as a government official in a town. As a citizen it is, but not as a government official. And if you're sitting there shaking your head, tell me, again, can your town decide that there's not going to be any more free speech, due process? Are they going to decide that? Are they going to decide that there's no more freedom of press? Could the town politicians and selectmen decide that there will be no more freedom of press in Northbridge, and we will not have the show like the Freedom Network on the air anymore? Well, that's what they're doing with the Second Amendment. I will tell this to any elected official in any town across the United States of America, to any state. within the Union, you have no right to a political opinion or any right to make any law. No, all these state laws about guns are all unconstitutional. Not one of them is valid and constitutional. And if you think that it is, again, if you think that it is constitutional, then let's go to the town or the state and ban free speech. Let's ban free speech. Do you think that that would be okay? Well, you must. Your free speech as well. If you're one of these anti-gun zealots, and this is your goal in life, is that you're going to ban guns, right? That's your goal in life, man, because it's going to make everybody safer. I mean, it made London safer, didn't it? They're only now, what are they trying to ban knives? Is that what they're trying to ban knives in London? Is that true? Is it? I'm going to get some first-hand info here because the news is unfolding as we speak.
London has overtaken New York City in the murders.
London has overtaken New York City in murders with knives, I guess.
Doesn't matter.
Right? It doesn't matter. It's people. I mean, I got to ask you a question. I have to ask you this question. Are you that stupid? Are you really that stupid that you think that if you make a law that says you can't have this gun, that all of a sudden everything is safer? Do you not see the agenda that is sitting before you? What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you allow states and towns to make laws and license guns? Donald Trump's 100% right. He's 110% right. There should be one vetting process to get a gun. One. And some people would say, why should there even be one? And I go back to the Federalist Papers because that's where I go for interpretation. I don't go to my mind. I don't make crap up and say this is what they must have meant. I go back and read the Federalist and Anti-Federalist Papers. I read the Constitution, and then I say this is what they must have meant because there's the information. Do you think for 1 second that James Madison ever thought that a particular state, or even worse, because they are sovereign to themselves, but under the Constitution, but a town or a county would be able to make a law that was in complete contrast? There shouldn't. Donald Trump is so right when he says there should be a 50-state carry. And again, this is what I mean, James Madison, we all know he was very involved with the founding documents. James Madison clearly said that citizens of sound mind that are lawful, I think he actually said lawful citizens of sound mind. To me, that would mean in the past, they would all say, oh, Gary ain't having no gun. He's flipping crazy. And that's how they would decide that. I get that. But in the modern era, 2018, I would think that having some type of a background check would be okay. And I think he would be okay with it. I really do believe he'd be okay with it, not based on my opinion, but on his writings, on what he said. And if that's the case, wouldn't it be, one, why can't I can take my free speech, right? And I can go wherever the hell I want to in the United States of America and speak on public land, right? That's my right. I can go anywhere in the United States of America and I can expect and demand due process. I can go anywhere in the United States and I can open up a newspaper and distribute information. Why can't I go to any state in the United States of America with my gun? Why? It makes absolutely positively no sense. What do I even need to have it recorded that I actually have a gun or not? Shouldn't I just be authorized to have one? Whether I have a gun or not is really none of your business. I have absolutely no need to tell you whether or not I do or I don't. It's not part of the Constitution. So I think that as we talk about the gun debate, it's got to be a federal debate. It is not a states' rights issue. States do not have the right to circumvent the Constitution. They just don't. Here's my 2 cents on that. I told you I was fired up today. What else do I got on here? I got all kinds of tabs opened and all this stuff. I have the AP wire going through. Let me see on these emails. Hang on, I got an email coming in. All right. This one comes from Use My Name. I love that. Name is John. John says, Gary, I agree that it was great that the kid called in. I do hope that he really gets your point. But at the end of the day, why don't people understand that spewing hate is hate? And people are going to get upset like you say. Thanks. Now, thank you, man. Thank you, John. I mean, I appreciate it. You're 100% right. You can't say, well, I have free speech and I can say what I want, so I say widgets. And some guy over there says, hey, that offends me. I don't like widgets. And then you go, oh my God, you can't say that to me. Really? Grow up a little bit. Tom just emailed in as well. Tom says, the Iron Cross does not represent the Nazis. The cross is given for bravery by the cross is given for bravery by the German army. Hitler earned one in World War One. Bad guys will never follow any gun laws. Well, I do agree. There are symbols that become bastardized, if you will, and used for other things. The Iron Cross certainly has been many, many different times over. There's nothing Christian about any Nazi, all right? There's nothing Christian at all about any Nazi. I think I'd kind of agree with you there, Tom. People that symbol was an add-on symbol, I guess, if you would. Bad guys will never follow any gun laws. You couldn't be more right about that. What shooters have these guns and follow the laws? They all go into gun-free zones, and then they shoot the place up, and then everybody freaks out. They're all in gun-free zones. Has there been a shooting in a non-gun-free zone? I can't remember them. Those guys that were the guy in the trunk, the kid and the guy, they were shooting people. But where were they? Isn't that whole city a gun-free zone? Yeah, it was. I don't know. We're going to go to war with Syria. We had a call allude to that. We're definitely going to. Trump's out there saying, don't shoot down our missiles, or you can't shoot down our missiles because they'll get by your defense system. Maybe it's a calibration test. Let's see what they can and they can't shoot down. So Russia then becomes involved in a war. So do we get in another proxy war? Does it become another Vietnam? What does it really become? Let me ask you guys a question out there. When was the last legally declared war that America fought in? Can you tell me? Because there's a process to declare war with within the United States of America and inside those founding documents, and there's a way to do it. There's an absolute way to do it. I'm getting some emails that are making me laugh now. Let me clear those out. This one says, I don't want to go to war, and I agree with you, my dear. I don't want to go to war either. 2 British nuclear subs on their way. Things are heating up. So email me. You guys email me and tell me off the top of your head. Don't go Google it. Come on, let's have some fun. Call in or email me. When was the last legally declared war that we fought in as the United States of America? We're fighting illegal wars, folks, based on how we're supposed to engage in conflict. We have standing armies that have been going on for a long time. This is my deal. Ready for my deal? I am done fighting for the next dictator to take over. I'm done with that. I am done asking our kids, my kid, that's going to be of an age to go and to fight for America. I'm done asking these kids to go to the Middle East to liberate one group or the other group only so that that group can subjugate the next group. Because that's what's going on. I am far from a dove. All right, folks, far from a dove. We need to protect our freedom, and we need to stand up for those that want freedom in some cases. I believe that. Usually with the global community would be nice. But, what's right is right. We can't turn our back on that. But reality is that we're not fighting to free anyone. We're not fighting to keep America free. We're not fighting to free the people in Syria. All we will do if we were to topple Assad is very simply help install the next dictator. And women will probably not have the same rights as men. They might have to walk behind them. They may have to, in certain areas, cover their face and all these other things, let alone the fact that you have no religious freedom, you have no freedom of the press, you'll have no freedom of speech. That's what our kids are going to go die for. Our blood, our American blood, is going to go spill to install another dictator? What sense does that make? We've been doing that over there for almost 20 years, decades long. We've never, first of all, this isn't even a declared war, but second of all, We've never fought a longer war. And you're telling me that we can't roll through the Middle East and just end any threat they may have to us? And you believe that? It's funny. It's funny. Reality is simple. We're not fighting to free anyone. Not fighting to free anyone. They will be ruled over by the next guy, and it's that simple. And I'll tell you flat out right here on television, my son nor your son or daughter, their blood is not worth fighting for people that want to rule over other people. Bring them home. Trump wants to have a wall. He's going to put that in the military budget now? Isn't the military budget big enough? How about this, Donald? Here's a great idea. Just end these wars. End them. Because you can end them yourself because they're not real wars. They're undeclared wars. They're conflicts or whatever. However the hell they run around the Constitution with it. We are spending billions of dollars on non-wars while we fight. Bring them home. Take them and put them on the border. Secure it. Case closed. Right? You want to come to America, do it legally. I don't know. Let's see. This is from Mr. Farley. World War II was a declared war, but Korea and Vietnam were undeclared. Absolutely right, Mr. Farley. As a matter of fact, World War II was indeed the very last time that the United States legally declared any war. So in most people's lifetimes, you have seen a lot of wars, but you have not seen very many legally declared wars. Why is that? Why do we stand for it? Why do we let towns make gun laws? Why do we let cities make gun laws? States make gun laws? I don't know. I don't know why we do these things, but you do because you keep voting these same people back in. You know, it harkens me back to the two-party system that seems like one's an alternative to the other. One is not an alternative to the other. They're not an alternative to the other. They're both the same. There's much evidence out there that would support my claim. Let's go back to the years of 1985. Let's pick 1985, all right? The government was where it was. Everything was just like that, just that status quo. Now, let's go from 1985 to 2018. Let's talk about things like the monetary system, the food supply, the healthcare industry, the size of government, the scope of government. Let's just talk about those things. Just those things, just to start. We don't have enough time to go much further. Has any of that changed? No. Has the government continued to grow? Yes. Under every single president, it grows. Wars have raged on and on and on since 1985. We have been fighting wars. Our monetary system continues to get more and more manipulated. Your money is worth nothing. It's just paper. This, here. Do I have any money on me? I never have money on me. Oh, I do have money on me. Here we go. All right. Here, see this? This is a $1 bill, right? Let me make this real simple to you, okay? And this is a piece of paper. This, in reality, is worth more than this, okay? That's reality. You got to read up on your economics because it's not really worth anything. There is no value to it. There's no value to it. There is a piece of perceived value to this piece of paper, but there's no value to your money. At the end of the day, folks, nothing. Taxes, government size. Look at we've gone from 1985 to 2018. Now we have the NSA. We've got more overreach from government. We've got more taxes. We've got worse food. We've got a crazy medical system. Who's been in power all this time? Who's been holding the marionette puppets all this time? Democrats and Republicans. Right? I mean, we've gone through Reagan, right? We went to Bush, okay? Then what? We went to Clinton. We went to Obama, Bush, another Bush, before, I mean, this is lunacy. You're talking about 4 or 5 families that have ruled over America and 2 parties for about what? What was 1985 to 2018? I'm a math guy. You do the math. Folks, the United States of America and the entire world are clearly being run, right? We're not running anything. The people don't run anything. And that's the problem. You got to wake up. You got to stand up. You got to stand up. Like I say to people all the time, with these anonymous people. They come out with these masks on, right? They have a mask on, and they're gonna do big speeches, big things. They're gonna change the world from behind a mask. Really? Take the mask off, will you? Stand up and be counted. Just be counted. Will you? I mean, it's too much. I got an email from Miss Maureen that says it's way too much. We need term limits. You're darn right. We need term limits. I'll put it this way. We're going to vote soon, right? We're going to vote for Congress, senators. Things are going to swing in again. We're going to get into that season. I made a decision that I don't care if you're my local selectman all the way up to the top. If you don't support term limits, or if you're running for more than what I would consider term limits should be, I don't know, Maureen, 2 terms, I think that's enough, you're not getting my vote. Okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. You're not going to get my vote. You're not going to get my endorsement. You're not going to get nothing. Nothing. You're not going to get a thing. And you know why? Because we need term limits. She's right. With term limits, you end the cycle. Look at the people that are in Washington, the families. And now Paul Ryan's going to go away, right? Good. Get the hell out. Go. What are you? Am I supposed to be sad? Paul Ryan decides he's not going to run for re-election. I think that's great news, don't you? I think that's great news. I got to be honest with you, folks. What we've lost is a grasp on what freedom really is. We don't, in many cases, help to tell our kids what freedom really is. Freedom isn't always fair. Everybody doesn't get what they want. Your feelings don't really matter, right? You get to live free. That's what you get to do. Instead, we run around. We do everything we can to make this fictitious money. We then take the money and move it to somebody else's hands. And we continue. This money moves all over the place. And that's it. And that's it. That's what we live for money. Meanwhile, 2 parties have taken over complete control of your life. And you are members of these parties. You're a Republican. You're a Democrat. Really? Dump them. If everybody just unenrolled, think about the chaos that it would cause. I don't know what this email means. I don't know what it means. I'm sorry to the sender. You know who you are. I don't know what it means. Anyway, look, we're coming back up on time to get out of here.